Hello and welcome to Cotent, where we take the con out of content. I'm your host, Greg Stevens, and today we're going to talk about propaganda in the media with my guest co-host, Jen Gustafson.
Good to be here, Greg. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, let's get started. So what do you think of the mainstream media today? Do you think it serves the people and gives us fair and balanced news? Or do you think it's full of lots of propaganda? What do you think?
I'm going to have to agree with you on the propaganda. I think it's very biased, especially depending on what network you watch. I know there's people who watch a particular network, and it seems from one to the other, it seems they're very biased on one side or the other, but very rarely do you see both discussed in one topic. So especially talk shows, take for instance, I was watching Fallon and then Seth Meyers, and they went on and on and on about Trump. Didn't hear anything about anything else, so it was really focused in that direction.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Kimmel is the same way, and Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert.
Yes.
Also very biased. And I do know that Stephen Colbert, he hosted the fundraising event for Kamala Harris, and he had three of the presidents there, and different Obama, Clinton, and Biden, and he's like, wow, and it's like he's just serving them. He's not, and so I think people would say, oh well, that's free speech, and I think there's a difference between satire, political satire, and propaganda, particularly if you are being influenced and you have an ulterior motive. And I think it's sort of like perhaps maybe a violation of campaign finance laws, like some weird stuff that they're sort of finding a loophole around. Because when you do campaigning, you're supposed to disclose, who paid by, who's funding you. And when you are doing political satire, or let's say, but really propaganda, and you're not disclosing the funding source or giving those disclosures, it fools people more. It really hypnotizes people. It takes them for a ride.
Yeah, I agree with you in that sense. Yes.
So what do you think? I'm thinking, like, what should we do about this? What can we do?
Do you think there's any way to bring back the Fairness Doctrine? Do you think that Trump or maybe another candidate will
I think that's a great idea. I do know that they used to have the Fairness Doctrine, and what that is the news shows had to actually cover the both sides, equally. And then Reagan, believe it or not, got rid of it. And I think,
don't know what the reasoning for that is.
I don't know, but that was kind of stupid in hindsight.
Politically motivated? I don't know.
Yeah, so, I do think that maybe what they need to do is more than just they need to do the Fairness Doctrine, but they need to do something about all these shows like The View. They're totally against, it's like ABC, their whole lineup is let's destroy Trump. And it's like, damn, and everything. It's like, whoa, this is like deep. Like they're really trying hard. And so, I think that maybe what needs to happen is they need to break up the media companies. They need to...
That's a great place to start.
ABC, who's the largest media company, and ABC, believe it or not, that's Disney. They need to break up Disney. because they've allowed Disney to consolidate too much, and it's taking away a lot of free choices. I think they can start there. They can also do NBC. They can also do CBS. Fox already got broken up because a part of their studios got acquired by Disney. I don't know why they allowed all this. And I think also PBS needs to be broken up. I think there needs to be more than one PBS, because PBS is also very biased. So there needs to be, maybe two sources of things. There needs to maybe be at least one or two more options in terms of media and TV. They need to maybe limit the amount of ownership, also of radio stations. They used to have all these laws, and I think this experiment of consolidation has been an absolute failure and is a threat to democracy.
Do you think it's just the networks in general, or is there any sort of, contracts that they have? I don't know that.
Well, the government, can't they do anything? If you have the, and it seems like the people have spoken too. It seems like also Google maybe needs to be broken up. Facebook needs to be broken up.
All the social media.
Because what they're doing, we're starting to find out that they're screwing up our kids. Twitter, needs to not be sold to one of these other companies. Maybe Twitter could be created as some new company, and then and let's not even talk about this. Now you're going to have AI that will
It's a scary thought.
will contribute to propaganda, and
We need more regulation with AI.
right.
Definitely,
I
I
think
think
maybe we should maybe let Elon Musk, because OpenAI was supposed to be open. Maybe let him give his 2 cents worth of what should be those regulations. So I do think that maybe they need to also change the campaign finance laws so that whenever you are talking on a show, that maybe your coverage of stuff maybe that also needs to be balanced. And if it's not, and if it's propaganda, or it's like maybe I'm thinking that maybe we should get rid of political advertising.
I don't see that in the future.
The media would hate that because they would lose a lot of money.
Exactly,
But maybe
yes.
maybe it's the political advertising is the problem.
It could be. And do you think it might be network based? Because if they're allowing certain advertising for certain candidates, based on the network, maybe.
Because think about
might
this:
be
if
politically
the
motivated that
other,
way.
if they had to do coverage for free versus, 'cause based on news, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't getting paid with ads. That would make it a lot easier for people to run in government, because they wouldn't have to raise so much money to pay for all this advertising that the media companies charge them and shake them down with, right?
Right.
And so that might open it to more politicians to be able to run, and then get rid of maybe the reason we're in this problem of propaganda is that the certain political parties are gaining too much power and making deals to let these companies get bigger in exchange for coverage. They'll let them grow, and so that, because what's good for democracy maybe isn't good for the media, and what's good for the media isn't good for democracy. Maybe we need to realize that people need to take back their country, and that they need to, demand a stop to what they call propaganda disguised as political satire, because it's really when it's uneven, it becomes propaganda when it's focused and angled and they don't purposely do things, and that's not really fair. I don't think that's free speech. I think it's trying to it's campaign finance reform.
Yes, it has nothing to do with free speech. It's definitely what you were saying about the.
What other idea? What else do you think we could do?
I don't know where to begin with this. I don't know.
Well, I think we got to do something where maybe the breakup. They need a Fairness Doctrine. We need to maybe break up the big media companies, including the social media, where there's more competition. Maybe get Elon Musk to help regulate AI.
Limit control.
Yeah, and I'm thinking also that maybe we need to, for all this to work, maybe we also need to build a new internet, a safer one, because that is media, and a way to kind of keep it more secure and safe and know where certain things are coming from, so that we could make it so that it's not as easy for people to do fake things that influence people from other countries or other propaganda.
Like all the safeguards they have in place for youth, minors.
Right. Like
put that in place for adults.
Right. Because I think, the thing that we all have to realize is that this internet that we created wasn't designed for the public. It was for schools. And it's not, security was never designed in it. And so it's not secure. And there's too many ways around it. And so maybe we need to work on maybe building a better internet in order to help get rid of the propaganda and make it safer for people, and rein in the the social media. And if we build this new internet, that will help America stay on top of it. With all this with this breaking up, that will create another whole new opportunity, and for there to be more competition and more American companies that will actually have a consciousness and serve the people instead of serving themselves.
Yeah, that would be a great place to start.
All right, so let's leave it at that right now. And so, if you guys have any other comments or ideas about propaganda, we'd love to hear from you. If there's anything else you want to share, know that you can always reach us at YouTube at Cotent TV, and you can also find us at cotent.com. That's COTENT.com. Well, thanks, Jen, for talking with me.
Thank you, Greg.
And we'll see you in another episode of Cotent, where we will continue to take the con.